Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the final month of the year, and you all know what time it is. It's time for every YouTube channel on the platform to come out with their top songs of 2021. Now, I'm gonna do it a little differently. We know that you can go and find everyone's 2021 Spotify Wrapped, but I'm a different type of dude. You see, I'm not really a Spotify heavy dude. I mean, I have music on Spotify, my own music on there, a couple of different channels of different music being streamed on there currently, and I've had some decent success on Spotify, but I am not a Spotify Wrapped user like that. So we're gonna do things a little differently here on the Still Slaps channel. All right, if that's cool with you. I'm Shuby. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time coming through, we appreciate you stopping by. Today, we are getting into my top 5 songs that I have been going back to for quite a bit throughout the year. Yeah, we're gonna start like this. Number 1, the number 1 on this list for me is going to be a song by Internet Money, His and Hers. His and Hers, Internet Money. Now, Internet Money is a trio. We've got Gunna, we've got Don Toliver, and we've got Lil Uzi Vert. Now, I'm not a big fan of, to tell you the truth, I'm not a big fan of Gunna or Uzi. I personally am, the biggest person in this trio that I listen to is Don Toliver, the boy Donnie. And I've got quite a few joints that I bang from Don Toliver on a regular. He's becoming one of my favorite of the new artists. And I really enjoy this record. This record was on repeat for me throughout a few different months of the year, and I think it was one of those records that when it came out, it wasn't really like it had a little bit of traction. You know, you saw people, you know, bumping it and listening to it and reacting to it, but I think this record didn't really get the just props that it really deserved. I mean, I don't know, I know that's kind of debatable in 2021 when everybody is reacting to songs left and right, but I don't know. I still kind of feel like this song was just a little, it kind of flew under the radar after a while. But I was personally a huge fan of this joint. Love the melodies. Donnie killed that hook. That hook was just obliterated. Baby, hit that back and burp. Ooh, yo, I was repeating that hook and that melody structure that Don Toliver set up. Internet Money, His and Hers is number 1 on this list for me. Let's move on to number 2. This was a little tough. But I decided that Kanye Hurricane is gonna be number 2 for this list for me under my top stream songs throughout the year. Now, obviously, I do still have my negative feelings about Donda, the album. I do feel like Donda is still not worthy of a top 10. Well, I don't think it's a top album of the year. I still have my feelings about it. I still think the album could have been a little bit more hitting home as far as the thematics of the album lyrically, and it could have been a little pieced together a little better than the way it was. But nonetheless, Hurricane by Mr. Kanye West, featuring the one and only Weeknd and featuring the one and only Lil Baby. Man, you talk about a dope verse from Lil Baby, and you talk about the execution in the Weeknd's verses, you talk about the execution on the Weeknd's hook, you talk about the execution on that buttery, spacey, atmospheric Kanye West production. Oh yeah. This is number, and the only reason why this is number 2 is honestly because the album came so later on in the year, you know, at the end of that summer. And I feel like if it were to come earlier, this would definitely be number 1. But for right now, it is number 2. Number three. If you haven't seen my review for this album, this is from the one and only Certified Lover Boy. Drake, of course, has snuck his way onto my top stream songs of the year, and this is a surprising pick this might come off as a surprising pick for a lot of people, but I can't believe I'm gonna say this track title out loud. I feel like, God, all right, fine, I'll say it. Drake, Papi's Home. God, shoot me, and bury the evidence somewhere for saying that song title out loud. I'm sorry, forgive me, please don't unsubscribe. I want to stop working for DoorDash and become a full YouTuber pretty soon. Anyway, yeah, Papi's Home. Jeez, cringe. Yes, this was one of the I have not been back to CLB. I have not been back to CLB as much as you would think. I think CLB was an album. It was like I said in the review, it was kind of a return to form for Drake. He knew what he was doing when he put that album out. It was a bunch of songs in style that we've heard before from. That does not mean that it did not come with its joints, with its slappers. And Papi's Home was an example of that. Nice banging bounce on that instrumental, nice chopped up sample vibes. Drake is doing what he does best, and you know, flexing, and he's doing everything that you would think he would be doing after a 10-year run in the game, after all the accolades and what have you. And it's commendable. It's a very commendable Drake song, and it gets you going every single time. Number four snuck its way onto my list like at the end of the year. You know, this track is still pretty fresh. It came out not too long ago, and to tell you the truth, it makes sense. The one and only Post Malone and Weeknd won right now. This track, ladies and gentlemen, is a vibe and a half. I feel like this was a match made to eventually take place. I really got to give The Weeknd his props, man. I used to not really be a Weeknd fan like that, because I kind of felt like he was just, I don't know, I did feel like he was a little overrated at times, but I do have to give him his props. He can definitely blend in, and you know, he can always drop great music. Him and Post Malone on this track, One Right Now, are just, they're amazing. The chemistry is there. The production is just so heavily, just it takes you and puts you in the ideal kind of paradise that you want to be in, while at the same time lyrically what they're talking about on this record is obviously kind of like the antonym to the instrumental. And of course, you know, if you're really good at songwriting, you can finesse that type of, you know, style. So that's really dope that they did that, and it's just buttery. I got one coming over and one right now. Yeah. That still goes. It's very, very fresh, but nonetheless, I still have it on this list. It's definitely been in my rotation heavily ever since it came out. Number 5 on my list is going to Maroon 5 with Beautiful Mistakes, featuring the one and only Meg Thee Stallion. This was very, very unexpected. I originally heard Beautiful Mistakes earlier on in the year, around I heard it a little later than the actual release date. I heard it through another video. This was it was an experiment that a rapper that I know was doing. Shout out to Spitty from over in Toronto. He was doing a cool little experiment, him and his podcast friends, and they were out and they were just talking to different people, asking what music they were listening to. One of the guys that was interviewed in the video that they stopped was listening to this record, and sure enough, I heard the snippet. I was like, okay, cool, I'll check it out. It sounds a little, sounds a little gimmicky, typical Maroon 5. You either love or hate the Maroon 5 swift change that they've kind of gone through over the last, the past decade. Beautiful Mistakes is a really, really good, nice little jam, if you will. Very, very atmospheric production on this record, and also a very, very nice performance from Meg Thee Stallion. I did really appreciate the fact that she could go into a little bit of diverse mode with her vocal cadence. Her singing portion on the record was really, really cool. I enjoy it quite a bit. Guys, I'm gonna need you to drop in the comments below what your top five of 2021 singles songs. It doesn't matter if they were big singles, small singles, loosies. Let me know what your top 5 songs of 2021 were. Please, guys, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like, and yeah, notifications on, guys. We're gonna keep this going into 2022. Thank you guys again. Stay tuned for new videos. This has been Shuby, repping for Still Slaps.